our first segment for our podcast following up the con. So we're going to jump right in with the podcast intro, and then we'll get to all the things we've done today, which has been a whirlwind of a day. So welcome to Parks and Cons, the companion podcast, the parksandcons.com website and YouTube channel. We discuss cons, theme parks, collecting, and other fun stuff. It is May 26, 2022. I'm your host, Sean. I'm here with Carmel.
Hi there.
Parks and Cons, Spot podcast, taking to heart the best convention themed entertainment events around. Today we're recording at the Anaheim Convention Center for Star Wars Celebration Anaheim 2022. We are recording this right by the fountain with a ton of activity all around us here, cosplayers everywhere. So for those that choose to watch the YouTube version, you'll probably see some stuff as we are going along in the background there. But let's get to the topics at hand here, which is just what we've been doing today. We did get in yesterday. We are staying out here at a hotel, which is walking distance from here, not too far. Not at the Hilton or Marriott or anything like that, but down around the corner there, which has been fine. We covered some stuff last night, did some lives, just kind of the campus and all of that stuff. And then this morning, got here at about 7:30 to go ahead and make our way into the Hall E to kind of wait for the floor. We did not win any of the celebration stage stuff, so that was not going to be any part of our day. We did want to try for the light speed pass, which we'll get to in a moment, but make our way. They do have kind of a campus closed down here with a lot of fencing around, which has made some logistical challenges. I think we'll get to those later, but first off, just kind of being back at the convention, just felt good to be back locked in that meat locker in Hall E there, just with all these Star Wars fans. We waited down there 2 hours. The light speed had some issues. The app never really connected to it, so basically that whole process of using the light speed pass to book something, we wanted to book the Star Wars Celebration store, and we ended up kind of trying to get in it, and then it was the queue-it system, so similar to like booking tickets for, another big kind of meaty convention or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was, basically the queue-it system, and there was just the link. So we had been stressing for the last few days that we weren't able to connect our badge with the app, and that had been supposedly was a big deal to be able to do the light speed stuff. And then we basically didn't really need it, as it turned out. So we had stressed for all these days for no reason. We got into light speed before 9 o'clock, because basically at 9 o'clock was when they randomly put everybody into a line order. And so we saw on the queue, we got to see what number we were in line and stuff, and so it was interesting. It was basically just a standard queue-it system that we've used for Disney, that we used for Comic-Con, the Hotel Apocalypse. I mean, for so many of the systems out there, it was basically that same queue-it system with the little green guide running on the screen and stuff. And so
and one of our friends was in immediately, practically. They were number 21. But then the screen kind of was crashing, and they weren't able to use their 21st spot. So we were like, I think our best number in our group was like 500 or something like that. But they were like 21, like literally 2-1. So we're like, they're going to be immediately. And 10 minutes into the process, it was just a spiraling circle and not letting them in. So they definitely have had, in addition to app issues, they had queue-it issues. But at some point, some people were able to get into some things. We were able to book a slot to the Celebration store. So we got that for the 10:30 timeline there, which was awesome and kind of unexpected, because the Celebration store we've done in the past, but it was a very different system at the time, and we kind of wandered in. I want to say it was like a late on Sunday or something type of thing. And this, to be able to do it like first thing in the morning, it really significantly changed the plans, but in a fun way. And we did pick up some things there.
Mostly in a fun way. I had all these other plans for what I was going to be doing on the floor and stuff, and then so pretty much immediately needing to go to the store, and that was a little interesting because the reservation specifically said not to arrive later than 30 minutes before your time. So pretty much like right away, I went straight up there, and then they wouldn't let us scan. They said it was wrong, and so basically it wasn't until 10:30 that they let us in the queue. So kind of an impromptu line kind of formed outside and stuff. It wasn't at all organized, and it wasn't an official line or anything. So it was a little iffy or whatever, but we were able to get in fine and stuff, and made our way. And then the store was actually a little overwhelming to me. It was it took a bigger footprint than it did last year, so everything was more spread out and stuff. But it was yeah, kind of crazy. It's like things were running out, and it was pretty early, but then they were restocking, and we talked about that in previous video. I think that's been our experience at the Celebration store, is that depending on your timing, you may get what you want, and it may be sold out at the time and stuff. And so I think the main thing that we heard that had sold out like yesterday was the Obi-Wan Funko.
Spirit of Obi-Wan, yeah.
And so that, I didn't realize it was available through that store, but apparently it was. At least that's what the employee said, but that it sold out yesterday. So, but then someone else later on was saying that there'd be more Funko each day, and so I don't know exactly what the setup is, but yeah, it was a little overwhelming with so much stuff to see in the store.
Yeah, and we did do a video of just the Celebration store and kind of what was in stock at that time. So if you want to see that, you can check that out on the YouTube channel there. It's just kind of a quick spur through. A lot of fun stuff. I mean, it was a bigger store than they've ever had that we've been to. It was more well-stocked, and it was constantly restocking. The Geeky Tiki's Bantha with Mando and Baby Yoda on it was like going like hotcakes. The Funko, the Baby Grogu, same thing. They would bring out Baby Yoda. They'd bring it out, and it would be like people would be grabbing it. The blue Star Wars Celebration sweatshirt was another one like that. The High Republic autographed book was another one like that. But I mean, there's no one rushing you out of there. So if you wanted to just stay in there the entire day, you probably could grab every item by the time it closed. But we didn't. But that said, even checking out, I mean, even with the light speed getting in and the checking out, it ended up being about an hour and a half or more in there. It is a long process, but I'm glad it's out of the way. I'm glad we were able to grab some things. We did get a Chrysanthemum plush. I love from the comics, Black Chrysanthemum. Now they just call him Chrysanthemum. And there, question, how much representation of the holiday special is there? None. None at all that we've seen. I'm wearing a holiday special t-shirt underneath my sweatshirt here, but no representation in there at all. We also picked up the official, unofficial Force training kit. Now you can train like a Jedi from the comfort of your own home. And remember, do or do not, there is no try. And so their little foam, just kind of a silly little Force training kit there. Did pick up the Celebration shirt. This was one of the items that was like gone, and then would return, and then would be gone, and then would return. So finally grabbed one of those. That was kind of the only shirt that I wanted. And so it was a big kind of competitive situation there, but I was glad it was done. Cool, we were able to do it. Fun stuff there. If you want to see more from the store, you can check that out, as I said, on our other video there. In terms of the floor itself, we did stop by the Jazzwares booth to do a little bit of video there of their new collection. If you are any kind of toy fan at all, like if you're at all into toys, and I know most people that listen and watch your stuff are some degree of toys, definitely check out, we did a video of that booth as well, but they have a new line they announced a couple days ago of these micro collection figures and vehicles, and I absolutely love them, and everybody on YouTube was seeming to love them. We've got a really positive response in a world where things are so divisive. It felt like it was one of the things that got, some of the best responses. But they range in price from just $6 for their blind packs, which are like little single, like a biker scout with his setup there, to the most expensive thing is $45 for a Millennium Falcon with 4 figures. But if you're an 80s fan, it reminds you of the old micro die-cast type things, except they have the movable arms, or the Micro Machines era. So it kind of calls back to either of those. But they have all sorts of vehicles there. They have a scavenged Razor Crest. They have a clean Razor Crest. They've got a Sage Ventress set up there. So it's a really, really cool booth. Hasbro has the biggest booth, or I shouldn't say the biggest, but one of the biggest booths, like with Funko on the floor there. So they have a bunch of empty glass cases right now that they're going to put things in out after their presentation. I believe that's tomorrow, if I recall. So more to come there, but they do have Boba Fett's throne room on display there, which is pretty cool. We posted some stuff on that. All the stuff that we've kind of known is coming is all I saw there right now, but it was still cool to see it that way. But a lot of big, booths in terms of like the Loungeflies and the Her Universes and a lot of that kind of mainstream stuff kind of sandwiched around all these old vintage toy type booths and things like that.
And then with Hasbro, the exclusive being, what are they calling it? Basically,
so they're calling the figure just Jon Favreau. And so it is a Paz Vizsla figure, which they've released a few different times in different paint versions. but they basically took a Happy Hogan head from the Marvel Legends line of Jon Favreau and put it on him. But unlike what they did with Filoni, where it was Trapper Wolf, unlike the Trapper Wolf one where it said Trapper Wolf, this one says Jon Favreau. So it's very strange. They're not calling him an actual character. But you get a QR code. You have to pick it up from the booth, and they say it's one use. And then you have to buy it in the next couple days. And then after everybody here buys them, supposedly it'll be available, whatever's left, more broadly. So it's $40 for kind of a somewhat repacked figure. I don't know. I love Favreau. I love Mandos. I love Celebration. I love Exclusive. So there's a lot of reasons I would want to get it, but I just don't know that I want to spend $40 on that particular combination of repacks and repaints and things like that. So I don't know. We'll see. I was very disappointed there wasn't an actual exclusive at the booth to leave with, and I know that's kind of the world we live in right now with all the shipping issues and things like that. But it was kind of a strange thing that was just kind of revealed a couple days ago.
Yeah, it was such a short notice too of the announcement. So it's very odd. In regards to one of the comments that thanking us for doing the live streams, and of course, thank you for watching. We're just trying to kind of share, what the experience is and stuff, and then this will go up a little later as the podcast and the audio version. But we are having a good time. But today's been a little stressful, which you'll hear as we're talking about our experiences. But it's nice to have the store out of the way. We were very fortunate to be able to get it first thing, because although it was stressful and a little overwhelming and all those things, it's nice, it's done, we don't need to worry about that anymore. Now we can start to kind of enjoy things. But yeah, there have been lots of various logistical challenges and stuff that we'll get into. But we are though having a good time. It is great to be back.
Yeah, and as we talk about the floor and the booths, I mean, it's interesting because Thursday is not sold out, but it feels like beyond sold out. I mean, logistically, there's a lot of challenges to the convention. They've made some strange choices in terms of food and just access. So on the food side, they're not using the standard snack bars that the Anaheim Convention Center always uses and are very efficient generally.
The ones that have burgers and pizzas and pre-made sandwiches and salads and stuff.
Yeah, those are all closed, and people are just sitting on the ground by them. And at one point they have a DJ in front of it, but they've closed all the really efficient way to get food. And instead they created their own little food court that just has, and it's hard to even call it a food court, because it's just 4 or 5 stands that have 1 or 2 cash registers each, and lines looping 30, 40, 50 people deep.
Longer than that, at least when I was there earlier trying to get us food.
Which then is overwhelming everything else. So outside they've got food trucks. They've actually got maybe the most food trucks I've seen here, with 10 in the front and another good chunk of them over by the arena. But they put up fencing around the entire convention center area, so you have to go through security, a scan as you're coming in. Well, what's happened now is the lines from the food trucks and the couple of seating areas they have there are basically the same path that people are squeezing past for security. So it's just one big wall of massive humanity with huge huge food truck lines. And then even at the hotels, those are having huge lines. So I don't think we've ever seen so many logistical challenges at the Anaheim Convention Center. One of the reasons we really have liked conventions here a lot of times is they're usually pretty smooth. But it's weird, there's a lot of choices that just seem really counterintuitive. And it's not like 2015, that's for sure. 2015, a lot of those things, were a lot smoother. There's a lot of things that are just simple kind of convention 101 that most, I think, con attendees, if they would have walked with them the day before, would have been yeah, don't do this, do that. So I'm hoping some of these things are fixed for Friday, Saturday, particularly because those are the sold out days and those are going to be even busier. But it's a little worrisome. And we had a couple kind of harrowing hours after we got done at the store. Basically, after we got done at the store, we went and reserved a spot for the swap meet. So we're going to be selling, we're going to have a table over at the swap meet. That's a collector's swap meet that they do on Saturday night. And that to me is always one of the highlights of Celebration. I love that. And so we'll have a table there. So we reserved our spot, and then it was kind of let's get something to eat. And it was a big kind of journey around trying to find any place where it looked like it would be maybe a 20-minute wait instead of a hour wait, which landed us eventually in the Hilton.
So, it was interesting to the food thing, because I know this convention center pretty well, and hold on, it's blocking sometimes. And so I was quite. I've like basically I left Sean and I left a friend and he has to sit down and take a break because there was quite a bit of standing we had done up to that point. And I was like, I'll go handle the food. I'll go grab it. I'll bring it back. No big deal. I know where the good food places are that usually aren't too bad lines. And I went down and I was like floored that that stuff was closed because it would seem like with the convention of this size that that you would have all your food options open, and then but it wasn't, and then all the food stands were insanely long lines. So I was really thrown off, and I thought I know this convention center well, and so I thought I was like, I'll be able to grab us food, no big deal, and it was not that. It was very challenging.
Yeah, very, very messy. And so again, hopefully we'll see it improve, but we'll see. I don't know. There's a lot of challenges here that I don't think you can just quickly turn around. So I don't know if we will see those corrected in the next day or if they will stay challenges. Obviously, we'll cover it and let people know as we go with all of that and see where things take us. Did want to say on the floor, I mean, one of my favorite things about Celebration, I said the swap meet is a big thing, and that's because it's all the vintage stuff. I mean, to me, the best thing about Celebration is all the vintage, not just toys, but other random things. So I stopped by, though, the Toy Chamber booth. I think it's $17.49, and if you're at Star Wars Celebration or coming out, I highly suggest checking out. They have, vintage Kenner, carded, box, loose, all sorts of amazing stuff. But they also have some cheap things that are not, hundreds and hundreds or thousands of dollars. So, like, picking up $5 Return of the Jedi coloring book here. And it's just like, I mean, we already have this coloring book in a few different, like, colored and non-colored versions, but I can't resist that at $5, so I was happy to pick that up. And then some 1983 Empire Strikes Back placemats. Also was excited to pick one of those up, Boba Fett and Chewbacca on that, so some fun art there. Those were all good things. There's so many. I cannot believe the amount of, though, like, modern toys. Like, I feel like it's even more than in 2015 of just booths with, like, towers of vintage collection figures and Black Series figures. I mean, there is a whole lot there. So, that said, though, we haven't spent a lot of time on the floor because we have been so busy with the Celebration store, and then also getting food. Yeah, the food took a whole lot longer. Also, though, we bought ahead of time Tim Rose, who played Admiral Akbar, or was a puppeteer, Admiral Akbar, Salacious Crumb for Return of the Jedi, Cy Snoodles as well, and so got in line for him and got a Akbar photo autograph. It's a trap. It was very nice meeting him, an incredibly nice guy. He loved your R2-D2 mask. He was totally just laughing that he couldn't believe there was an R2-D2 mask that he loved. He was a very endearing guy. It was also one of the longest waits per person I've ever had for an autograph. There was about 12 people in front of me when I got there, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to be done here in like 10, 15 minutes. And it was about 6, 7, 8 minutes per person. Like, these were long conversations. And it was like, when we got up there, it was only about 2 minutes or something. But even us, he was talking more. And, it was just like, no, we just need your signature. My general thing with people for autographs, whether it's comics, directors, actors, thank you for your work. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your signature. Have a wonderful convention. That's kind of just my general, unless there's something more to be said. That was not the case in almost everybody in front of us were some really long stories. So it took forever. It was about, I think in the end, it ended up being about an hour and 10 minutes for 12 people. So it was a long wait. And I can't imagine how long the people that were behind us are probably still waiting there. It was a really long line. But I'm glad I got it. He was a very nice guy. I don't know they'll have the opportunity to get it again outside of another celebration because he's not somebody that's out here in California doing signings at cons and things like that. So I'm very pleased to have gotten it, and he was a super nice guy, a very cool guy to meet.
While we were in that line, we were able to kind of see the StarWars.com stage, and so from a great distance, but we were able to see Ashley Eckstein for a bit and Kathleen Kennedy while they were up there speaking. So there was a slight distraction while we were waiting in line. But a little slight note, I thought in 2015 the show was a carpeted show like Comic-Con usually is, but it's not carpeted this time. Certain booths have carpet, but the entire time we were in that line for Tim Rose, we were just standing on the concrete cement, whatever it's called, and it wears on your feet. And I've noticed it as soon as we walked onto the floor after when it first opened and stuff. I was walking like, oh, there's no carpet. I felt it like immediately, and it's just it's been accentuated how I miss the carpet and stuff for each show. So yeah, unfortunately that the entire time that we were waiting there was no carpet, but again, Ashley Eckstein and Hallie Kennedy provided a slight distraction while we were there.
Yeah. Big conventions without carpet are incredibly difficult. Small conventions without carpet are incredibly difficult, but that's a lot of them outside of hotel shows. But when you have a bigger show like this without it, it's like, oof, that's rough. But yeah, there's a lot of, little queuing issues and things that hopefully will get resolved, and, parts of all of this, we'll see. It's interesting. I mean, we didn't do the Galaxy stage or the Twin Sun stage, but those lines were pretty monstrous as well. I mean, it was really messy. There's a lot of kind of dodging bodies like an asteroid field type of thing as you're making your way around here. I do want to say before we wrap up this segment here, the cosplay has been outstanding. I know it'll only be even better. One of my favorites so far, though, and we just posted on all of our social channels, but a bantha with the Tusken Raider from Book of Boba Fett, I guess it was actually the same Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett. But the bantha has a tongue that spits out, and you can grab a business card from them for their cosplay. So if you didn't check that out, we'll have it in our overview video, but I've also got it in our some of our social media today, but that was a lot of fun. There's a lot of really good cosplay. So we'll have a full cosplay video at some point in the weekend as well. We're going to continue to do some of these live videos on the floor of some of the interesting booths or some of the things that are a little bit more unique. Try to give as much of a feel for what the convention is that we can. We did miss, obviously, the big Lucasfilm panel. We won't recap that here because we weren't there, and you can find that all on social media or for people that were in the panel. But a lot of those people are going to be coming back tonight to watch Obi-Wan premiere earlier on in the night. We will not be. We were not part of that group. We are going to be going to the D23 Galactic Disco party, so we'll see what that is, and we'll cover that and provide some content there. We might go to the rocket firing Boba Fett panel and the collectors lounge. I'd like to just take some time just to walk the floor as well. So we'll kind of see where we go with the rest of the day.
In general, I think our goal is to do a live and / podcast recording every day. We're going to try for around 3. Obviously, we didn't make that today, and things happen, but that's kind of our plan for this weekend. So follow along if you want to kind of catch up and see what we've been up to for that day. But yeah, so that's kind of the plan. But thank you for joining us, and thank you for watching for this segment.
Yeah, definitely. And so with that being said, we'll go ahead and wrap up this segment, and we'll be back for our YouTube and live audience tomorrow, and for our audio listeners, just a few seconds.